sports.
We are Baltimore. We are LA.
It's time for Angels Spring Training Baseball this afternoon from Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. It's the Angels taking on an Arizona Diamondbacks split squad. We take you inside Salt River Fields as the Angels get ready to take on the Diamondbacks, Jose, here in Cactus League action. Well, beautiful day for baseball. A little bit of a later start for us here today as we talk about Angels baseball. A lot of the starters have stayed back in Tempe, but we do want to talk about Mike Trout. When we've seen him, and it hasn't been every game so far, Jose, he has looked like Mike Trout.
You know, there's times when, even as a broadcaster, it's hard not to be also a fan when you watch somebody like Mike Trout in his youth, producing the way he has, coming into spring training and not skipping a beat over pretty much every season he's played in the big leagues. On the defensive side, first play off the bat, makes a great play. First swing, he gets a knock to right field. And then, who else but Mike Trout to connect for the Angels? First home run here of the spring. He is pretty much doing what he can to get ready, scorching the ball every time he comes up. And it's already, Terry, hard to believe this guy's been around for 5 years, and the consistent production just never seems to just get away from us.
Already over 100 home runs for Mike Trout in his Angel career. Well, spring training is a lot of stories, Jose. Always some young players trying to make a name for themselves. One has done it so far here early in Cactus League play. That's outfielder Rafael Ortega. He's now in his 9th pro season. He's had just very limited major league experience, just 4 at-bats in the big leagues, a couple hits. The Angels are his 4th organization, and boy, have we seen some good things from him so far this spring.
The best thing is that young players like this know that the regular players are not going to be consuming a lot of innings, and when your name is called, go out there and take advantage of it. On the defensive side, Ortega's shown a cannon arm, also very precise on those one-hoppers, and once in a while, he'll flash it. He did not need to hit the cutoff man, just like Vladdy Guerrero told him here early in camp. But also with a bat, we see a guy with great bat control who understands what his game is, taking the extra base, bunting the ball very well, and of course, trying to make a name for himself to be considered in this competition for the bench. What we see beyond him, we see Choi, who's starting today, who's done a fine job swinging the bat, Navarro, and of course, Todd Cunningham. Terry, anytime you can swing the bat, play defense, and of course, go after run the base as well. That's a plus for Mike Scioscia and his staff.
Always a lot of battles for players trying to make some of the final roster spots, both position players and also pitchers. Speaking of pitching today, it'll be Garrett Richards on the hill for the Angels, his 2nd start in the Cactus League.
Got his feet wet first start out, gave up a couple of runs. His delivery was not as precise, not as crisp as he wanted it, but he got his work in. How many times do we say that in spring training? He got his work in. Well, today, he can amp it up a little bit more. We'd like to see a little better command on that fastball. The velocity will be there up to the mid-90s, sometimes upper 90s. And the bullpen transition is also need to be there when it comes down to implementing those pitches. This man led the Angels last year and qualified in the quality starts, and he knows he gives the Angels a chance to win every single time. And as Jared Weaver already said publicly, the torch has been passed, and it's very likely we see Garrett Richards on the mound come opening day.
Opening day against the Chicago Cubs, less than a month away. Well, it's the Angels and the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are hoping to repeat what they did in 2011, and that's when they won the NL West. They won 94 games that year. They were 4 under 500 last season, in 3rd place in the National League West. But, Jose, they were very busy this offseason.
They're also very aggressive last year, scoring runs. Chip Hale has brought a different attitude here to this ballclub. And yes, they made a run at Johnny Cueto, couldn't sign him, but they got a better prize in Zach Greinke himself. Shelby Miller, forget the numbers last year. He was really good amongst the best pitchers in the National League. And then Gene Segura, former Angel, and also somebody that at one point was traded from the Angels to the Brewers for a guy named Zach Greinke. Hopefully will provide for them a better player, a more steady player, more consistent player that brings versatility in the middle and also some speed. But nonetheless, the D-backs are ready. They score a lot of runs.
Well, we mentioned the Angels haven't brought a whole lot of regulars here for this matchup against the Diamondbacks. We'll see how it all plays out this afternoon. Angels and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Garrett Richards against Robbie Ray. We'll have the lineups and the action on Fox Sports West.
And here we are, beautiful Salt River Fields at Talking Stick, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks here in spring training and of the Colorado Rockies. So glad you could join us on this cool afternoon here in the desert as the Angels, so far with a 2-5 record, head against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they are 4-2. Angels starting lineup is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. For the Angels, former Diamondback infielder Cliff Pennington is leading off. He is at second base. Andrelton Simmons at shortstop will bat second. Giovanni Soto, veteran catcher, is the designated hitter today, batting third. Jeffrey Marte, 3-home-run homer yesterday for Marte, is playing third base, batting fourth. Carlos Perez is the Angels catcher, batting fifth. Craig Gentry, that good speed, is batting sixth in left field. Chad Henshaw, another one that can run very well. Henshaw is batting seventh in center. Quentin Berry, a lot of speed in the outfield today for the Angels. Berry is in right field, batting eighth. And Ji-Man Choi is batting ninth. South Korean doing a fine job swinging the bats. He is at first base. As the home team, the D-backs, take the field. Their lineup with manager Chip Hale at the helm is Chris Owings, youngster, playing shortstop. Socrates Brito is in left field, batting second. Phil Gosselin is batting third at second base. David Peralta, outstanding year last year. Peralta is in right field, batting fourth. Ricky Weeks, designated hitter, trying to make the ball club and making a comeback, as Weeks batting fifth. Brandon Drury is at third base, batting sixth. Kyle Jensen at first base, batting seventh. The catcher batting eighth is Tuffy Goswish, and batting ninth in center field, Evan Marzilli. Because the D-backs have had a couple of games scheduled here today, we're also going to see former Angel Phil Nevin in charge of this squad, seeing when and if Chip Hale can get here back on time. It's all set. Beautiful view of the mountains here. Four Peaks way out there beyond center field. We also see the Red Mountain in right center field. But best of all, to my right, I see one Terry Smith.
All right, thanks, Jose. And we are minutes away from the start of the action. Left-hander Robbie Ray is the pitcher warming up for the D-backs. The umpires, Mike DeMuro, will be calling balls and strikes, and on the bases we'll have Alfonso Marquez, Carlos Torres, and Stu Sherwater. So the first batter up for the Angels will be Cliff Pennington. who began last season with the D-backs, so he's familiar with a lot of people in that third base dugout. Angels dugouts on the first base side. Halos have on the red tops, gray pants, and the D-backs start things off with a strike thrown by Robbie Ray. A swing and a miss by Pennington. We're underway. The count, no balls and a strike. Kind of the desert red tops for the D-backs, the white pants. There's a pitch on the outside corner, and that's in there. It's now 0-2 on Pennington.
Robbie Ray not wasting time, Terry. I think you're liking this already.
Pennington's gone 2 for 10 so far here in the Cactus League. Here's the next pitch, and that's low and inside. Bright sunshine as we get underway. We'll set up the D-backs around the infield. They have Kyle Jensen at first, Phil Gosselin at second, Brandon Drury at third. Chris Owings is the shortstop, and there's a pitch cut on and missed. Fooled on that one was Pennington. Struck him out. So that's the game's first out. Defensively in the outfield for Arizona, Socrates Brito in left field, Evan Marzilli in center, David Peralta in right. The catcher is Tuffy Gosawish, and the veteran Ricky Weeks, who's kind of on the comeback trail, signed with the D-backs as a minor league player, minor league contract. He is DHing. At the plate taking the pitch is Simmons for the Angels. The count 0-1.
23 starts last year for Robbie Ray. 5-12 record. 127 and 2/3 innings. 3.5 ERA. And as you were talking about earlier, Terry, yes, run support was an issue for Robbie Ray. Just did not get a whole lot from his teammates.
Ray has a pretty good fastball, good changeup. He'll throw a slider and curve as well. And here's his next pitch. Bounce foul over on the left side. Awesome. So the count on Simmons is 1-2. The dimensions here at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. 345 down the lines, 410 to dead center. And in the alleys, it goes right around 390. Here's the next pitch. It's a little pop on the right side, and it just clears the second baseman. It drops into shallow right center for a one-out single. So Simmons is on. Just blooped it over the head of Gosselin, the second baseman. Angels have their first base runner, and Giovanni Soto's DHing will be the next hitter.
Just enough to fight it off for Simmons. He had come into this game having got 0 for 8 in the early going here with his new Angels uniform.
So Soto is at the plate. Ray working from the stretch, and a toss over to first base, and back in plenty of time goes Andrelton Simmons. He had 5 stolen bases in his final year with the Braves a year ago. Angels so far this spring have had only 3 stolen bases in the first 7 games. Here's the next pitch, and that one misses inside for a ball.
Something else you were asking me, Terry, about Robbie Ray. There it is. He is not afraid to go out there and repeat that fastball in. That's how he got to set up Pennington to finally finish him off on the off-speed low in the zone by repeating fastballs inside.
Here's the next delivery, and checking is Soto. He sees that one called a strike.
If there's one thing you can do against Robbie Ray, and you were talking about stealing bases, well, that aspect, not the best. And he can tip it off. He allowed 11 stolen bases last year. Only 1 runner got caught while he was on the mound.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. Jeffrey Marte, the Angels' third baseman, cleanup batter, waiting on deck. And the next pitch, and that one is high and away. 2-1 is the count. The D-backs got Ray back in December 2013. Got him from the Nationals. That was a deal for Doug Fister. Here's the next pitch. That one is tipped foul right by the plate.
Okay, Doug Fister, the Angels will probably see a lot this season now that he is a Houston Astro. And Houston has a very deep rotation again, led by the Cy Young Award winner in Dallas Keuchel.
Well, their bullpen got a little bit better, getting Ken Giles from the Phillies. Yes, the pitch, and that one is low. So good stop by the catcher, Gosawish, and the count now 3-2. Shadows starting to creep right around the batter's circle and into the batter's box. Ray is ready. Runner not going, and the pitch fouled off on the right side, backing out of play.
See some good at-bats all the way around here from Giovanni Soto throughout the spring. Mike Scioscia giving him even a bigger boost in confidence and batting him third, allowing him to get more at-bats, put some runners in front of him, and see what Soto brings with his bat. 9 home runs for the White Sox last year and limited catching time.
Here's a 3-2 once again, and it's tipped foul. So this is a good long at bat here for the Angels DH Giovanni Soto. He's making Robbie Ray work hard. He's thrown 15 pitches already, and quite a few of them have come in this at bat. Ray has a new baseball, comes in with another pitch, and after all that, it's low ball 4. Pair on for the Angels. Very good at bat right there by Soto, and the batter now will be Marte.
This has pretty much become a trend for the Angels in the early going. A lot of base runners in the first inning. So far as guys are trying to catch up with their timing and their eyes and pitch selection and all that, they haven't capitalized as much as the offense hopes to keep and get it going here.
So Marte will step up. He had a home run yesterday in the Angels split squad game against the Reds. There's a pitch on the outside corner, and that's been Marte's only hit so far this spring. We didn't see that game. We saw the other Angel game yesterday, split squad day against the White Sox. 0-1 pitch, cut and a miss. So down deep in the hole, 0-2.
Marte played 33 games for the Tigers last season. 4 home runs. And out of those 4 home runs, 3 came against left-handed pitchers.
Ray is ready, and here comes the next one, the 2-strike pitch, and that is a called third strike that nicked the inside part of the plate. Struck him out looking.
It's a fine job opening up that lane by pounding inside, having enough of a cut fastball in, and then allowing the ball to run back over the plate. And totally surprising Jeffrey Marte on that one.
So Carlos Perez is the 2-out batter with 2 on. Angels trying to get something on the scoreboard. Right-handed hitting Angel catcher Carlos Perez. First delivery goes after it and pops that one foul on the right side, backing out of play.
Right off the label. This fastball continues to get in on hitters. And it's not going to get any easier with the shadows approaching the home plate area.
Perez so far in the Cactus League, couple hits, 2 for 8, 1 RBI. Here's the next pitch. He grounds it right to the shortstop. Easy play. Flip to second in plenty of time, and that'll do it for the Angels here in the top of the first inning. Couple runners left on base. Half inning completed at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. There's no score on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports.
So get rid of it. We all know the time.
Angels right-hander Garrett Richards will be the first Angel pitcher of the ball game. Slated to throw about 45 pitches here in this matchup against the D-backs split squad. Their first batter is Chris Owings, and the first pitch that's in there for a called strike. Want to remind you, today's game being brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger's all about. Here's the next pitch. Grounded on the left side. Nice stop by Simmons. Throws to first and gets him.
Angels fans get used to that. That is pretty much on display what is considered and who is considered to be the best defensive player in the game. Anderson Simmons going to his left makes it look so easy, and then beyond the fact that his range is unbelievable, is the arm that he has considered a plus arm there on display.
That's about as smooth as it gets right there.
Wow.
Yep. He's going to be fun to watch this year. There's a pitch in there for a strike. This is Socrates Brito, a left-handed batter who was in 18 games for the D-backs last year. He hit .303 most of last season in Double-A, and he cracks his bat but gets a base hit out of it. Bounces it out of the reach of Pennington, and it rolls out to Berry out there in right field.
How about that? Hard hit ball up the middle, it's an out, and the broken bat ball is through for a base hit.
So the first Arizona hit, and Phil Gosselin, the second baseman, will be the next batter. Gosselin was with both the Atlanta Braves and the D-backs last year. And overall, he hit .311 in 44 ball games. Right-handed batter. 27 years old, takes that one for a strike, snap throw to first, and diving back to the bag goes Brito, who can run. Brito had 20 stolen bases last year in the minors, so he has solid speed. Around the infield, G-Man Choi is the Angel first baseman, with Cliff Pennington at second, Jeffrey Marte at third, and Andrelton Simmons, the Angel shortstop. Here's the pitch. That's low. Outfield, Craig Gentry in left, Chad Hinshaw in center, and Quentin Berry in right. Carlos Perez catching, Giovanni Soto DHing, and 27-year-old right-hander Garrett Richards on the mound. Angels did not travel. Trout, Pujols, Calhoun, Escobar, Crone, Giavotella, Nava. They all worked out in Tempe earlier today. Did not make the trip for this game. Here's the pitch. That's fouled back to the screen. We thought that we might possibly see Houston Street pitch tonight in this one, but Houston Street faced some live hitters back in Tempe today. So the reports were good, and he should be ready to go in a Cactus League game here in the next few days.
And for a veteran pitcher, Mike Scioscia knows a controllable environment at this point is better for him.
Here's the next pitch. Late with the swing on that one is Gosselin.
What does that mean? Obviously, you can go out there and tell him how many pitches he's going to make. He might even dictate situations. And when that limit comes, you can pull him right out without having to worry about getting another pitcher ready during the game if those pitches pile up too much.
Richard said, here's the 1-2. This one is bounced towards short. It's fielded by Simmons. Flip to second one. Relay to first. Just a little bit late. Wasn't hit that sharply. Pennington's throw just couldn't quite double up Gosselin, so it'll be a fielder's choice. Out at second on Brito. 2 outs in the inning, and David Peralta will be the next batter.
There's many times when a double play really is made or not by the first guy that gets the ball, and that is, in this case, Simmons, who on a similar play recently with Johnny Giavotella barely had that ball even touch the glove, flipped it to Johnny, and they completed a double play. And on a ball hit that slowly coming off the bat, look how close even on that one he made it to first base.
Left-handed hitting David Peralta cuts and misses the first pitch for strike one.
This guy's a very fine baseball player right here.
Originally a pitcher in the Cardinals organization. He was released by St. Louis back in 2007. Turned to hitting, played independent league baseball. He's a guy, Jose, that when he got released, he didn't know what he was going to do, but felt he could still play baseball. he actually started to work at McDonald's.
Wherever that paycheck was coming from, he got it.
And he said he knew he wanted to get back in uniform, and last year was a 300 hitter in the majors.
Oh, that his dad was the one pushing him the most to say, son, if you still believe in that dream, don't give up. So, from getting released, going out to earning a check somehow to support his family.
That's right.
To being a 300 hitter in the big leagues. To be in the middle of a lineup for a team that scored a lot of runs last year.
Left-handed batter. Here's the next pitch. He takes that one low. Peralta had 17 homers, drove in 78 runs. He's an aggressive hitter.
And with all that being aggressive, impressive, 371 on base percentage.
Can run a little bit. 10 triples certainly illustrate that. That's what he had a year ago. We're in the bottom of the first inning. 2 outs, no score. Angels and a D-back split squad. Shadows have covered home plate now. Toss over to first base. Back to the bag goes the base runner Gosselin. When the Angels bat in the second, Craig Gentry, Chad Hinshaw, and Quentin Berry will be the hitters. Nice crowd for this late afternoon start. Here's the pitch, and he fouls that one back behind the plate.
See it better, Garrett Richards staying over the mound, pounding the glove, trusted movement. And Mike Scioscia says the key today is to get him out to that mound 3 times. As he'll be around the 45 pitch mark. Yesterday, Hector Santiago able to go a little bit more than that, 49 pitches. It felt really good.
Here's the next delivery. This is chopped on the right side. It should be an easy play, and the throw by Pennington will get Peralta, and the inning is over. Not much doing for Arizona here in the bottom of the first. We've completed one. There's no score on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports.
Spring is
Here we go to inning number 2. No score. Angels and the Diamondbacks. And here's the first delivery. That one right in there for a strike. This copyrighted broadcast presented by authority of Angels Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of Angels Baseball. Next pitch was low, so the count even. It's 1 ball, 1 strike on Craig Gentry. Angels outfielder digging in, and the pitch that's low and inside from Ray. Gentry so far in the Cactus League has been up 10 times with 3 hits.
And this is what matchup Mike Scioscia wanted to see with Gentry and the left-handed Ray on the mound.
And there's a cut and a miss.
Reason is, of course, Gentry considered much stronger. 274 career against left-handers. And that includes also a 354 on-base percentage.
Here's the 2-2. He takes it inside, and the count full.
Come on, Craig. Come on up.
That looked very similar to the strike that Jeffrey Marte took earlier when that fastball ran back over the plate.
So the payoff, and it's fouled back to the screen. Now, there's no doubt watching Ray out there on the mound, he doesn't waste time. He
Terry, get that book.
That book says he's a fast worker, Jose.
Refreshed? It was already in. Okay, good.
Yep.
Good job.
Yep. Here's the next pitch. It's lifted in the air into left field, and it's going to fall in front of Brito, the left fielder. He went to his right towards the line, but not quite able to get to it. It falls in. Gentry has a 2-strike leadoff hit. Angels have a base runner for Chad Hinshaw.
Ball leaves the bat. I thought it was going to be lined right at Brito. Apparently not seeing it very well off the bat, coming up the shadow, then getting into the sunshine. Nice job by Gentry on that at bat.
Brito has the sunglasses on out there in left field, but did not track that one the way he would have liked, I guess. First pitch of ball here. It's 1-0 on Chad Hinshaw.
Well, you have a good matchup when it comes down to base stealing with Gentry. And with Ray on the mound, as I mentioned earlier, 11 stolen bases against him last season, 1 caught stealing.
Here's the next pitch, and that's right in there for a called strike. 1-1 on Hinshaw, who spent most of last year in Double-A. Overall, between the Arizona League and Double-A Arkansas, 30 stolen bases for him, 291 batting average. Right-handed batter, 25 years old. Guy with good speed. He sprays the ball around, not much for power. He had only 1 home run in the minors last year.
As you talk about maybe stealing here, which should be a good time. How about the lead at first base by Gentry? Pretty decent one.
Here's the next pitch. Hinshaw lines that one to third. The throw back to first base is going to double up Gentry. He couldn't quite get back in time. Drury caught that liner, and it was hit so hard that he was able to rifle that throw back over to Jensen, the first baseman. Line out double play. 2 are gone.
Ball gets to that third baseman so quick. You get a secondary lead. You have a good lead to begin with, and you have absolutely no chance. Well defended there by the D-backs, and their third baseman Drury playing catch.
So here's Quentin Berry, the left-handed hitter. Lefty-lefty matchup in there for a strike. Berry is the only left-handed batter in this lineup against the lefty Robbie Ray. No score. We're in the second. Here's the pitch, and that is a little bit low. Infield backed up. 2 outs. No one on, and the next pitch on Berry. That one is a pitch in there for a strike.
That's a pitch that he did not see very well coming out. That shining sun right into the shadows, and Berry wishes he had tracked a little bit better. As the eyes get adjusted here.
1-2 pitch. Late with the swing. Fouled back to the screen. Poker fans, you can play in the Gardens Casino $30,000 guarantee. No limit hold'em tournament. It's coming up this Friday. Visit thegardenscasino.com for more info. Please play responsibly. 2-strike pitch. Low. 2-2.
Yeah, as you say, 2-strike pitch there. You know, one of the notes we get here is that Ray had a lot of trouble putting hitters away with 2 strikes last season. And a lot of 2-strike foul balls playing right into our hands here. Thanks to the great Scott Snyder providing those facts.
There's one a little low, and now it's a full count. Well, with that said, he still struck out almost a batter an inning last year.
He had to work really hard to get that 3rd strike, though. That's great.
Did, yeah.
Got it done.
So full count, we'll see what gives. And a swing and a miss struck him out, and the inning is over. It's 3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for Ray. Pretty quiet Angels second inning. We're headed to the bottom of the second with no score on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Garrett Richards getting set for inning number 2. Ricky Weeks will be the first batter that he faces. And here comes the first pitch. And that one got a piece of him. And sure did. It was inside. And the home plate umpire, Mike DeMuro, signals for Weeks to take first base, hit by the pitch.
Ricky Weeks just wants some at-bats and swing the bat, and he was never hit. I don't think it was so much about getting hit by the ball, but about the fact that he wanted to go out there and have an at-bat. Get some swings.
Yeah, he's trying to win a spot on the D-backs opening day roster. Veteran who
still doesn't look very happy.
Yeah. Weeks was with Seattle last year when the season began and struggled, hit under 200, and then was let go. Here's the pitch. This is hit well in the right center field. Chasing is Berry. He's not going to be able to get to it. It goes all the way out to the wall. Weeks is headed into third. Stumbled a little bit. He's waved home, and he's going to score without a throw. So Drury doubles, and he's a guy who last year in the minors had 40 doubles, so he gets one there and gives Arizona a 1-0 lead.
And the team that was second in runs scored in the National League wastes no time in taking advantage of a hit batsman. A split nice double there by Drury, right center field. Outstanding approach all the way around on the four-seamer. That, of course, from Richards, high speed, cutting away. He did a fine job putting the bat on that pitch.
So the batter now will be the first baseman, Kyle Jensen.
Well, Terry, Ricky Weeks didn't get to swing, but they got to see him run a little bit.
Yeah.
Got a little extra conditioning in today.
Scored all the way from first base. So here's Jensen set to bat. He played AAA in the Dodgers organization last year, 27 years old, right-handed batter, and he takes that one for a strike.
Only the Colorado Rockies scored all runs in the National League. And the Arizona Diamondbacks, D-backs scored 720 runs.
Next pitch, that one is high.
And of course, who led the major leagues? How about the Toronto Blue Jays? And that's not a surprise to anybody, right?
Not at all.
They scored 891 runs. Angels, 12th in the American League, scored 661 runs.
Next delivery from Richards in there for a called strike.
As we continue to talk about how much the Angels offense needs to score, well, there's proof number one. 12th in the American League in run score. Below the Angels, only Seattle, Tampa Bay, and the White Sox scored less runs.
It's surprising those teams looking to upgrade their offense in the offseason. Here's the next delivery. It's fouled off on the right side, backing out of play.
We saw the White Sox yesterday look much better, much deeper offensively. Seattle, of course, with new additions, a longer lineup, more contact in that lineup.
Garrett Richards has a new baseball. Eyes the target of his catcher, Carlos Perez. Here's the next delivery, and that is low.
You still see Richards fighting off his command a little bit. He's at 21 pitches here so far.
Richards allowed 2 earned runs, couple hits, a walk. Did not strike out anyone in his Cactus League debut. That was last Thursday against Oakland. It's a 2-2 count. And the next one on Jensen got him looking. Struck him out. Fooled him right there. Couldn't pull the trigger on it. And that is out number 1.
One of the tightest spins in all of baseball on display on that one. Absolutely buckled Kyle Jensen. Good location, great finish. A nice framing job by the catcher, Carlos Perez.
Tuffy Gosawish is the batter. He's had only 3 at-bats so far this spring with a hit and a run batted in.
All Tuffy wants is to be healthy this season.
Pitch on its way. That's low and outside. Tuffy just wants to be Tuffy.
Yeah. Well, Tuffy's tough. Sometimes those injuries, no matter how tough you are, just you cannot avoid them.
Gosawish is a catcher, kind of more known as a catch and throw guy. Offensively, numbers aren't all that impressive. Last year in just the 38 games, hit .211. His on-base percentage was .261 last year. Not a whole lot of power, but pitchers like to pitch to him. Solid defensively.
Healthy knees hopefully means a healthier year in numbers.
There's a pitch he cuts at and misses. And that was a good breaking ball, so it's 1-2. I want to welcome our listeners on the Angels Baseball Radio Network, and also for those watching on Arizona. Glad to have you watching the action here from Salt River Fields. There's one that's fouled off on the left side, back to the seats, and that one will cost Gosawish his bat. Fouled that one off.
Terry,
bat.
Definitely a very special welcome to the listeners and viewers in Arizona, as we know how welcomed we feel when we are here in the Valley of the Sun. Hospitality is unmatched.
We just hope they understand who we're pulling for here.
Are we pulling for anybody? We're just calling a baseball game.
Well, I don't know. I'm hoping the Angels win. I don't know about you.
Oh, D-backs, so beloved here in the area. It's amazing the following they get all the way around. I mean, to have your spring training pretty much at home, that's what you would expect.
Here's the next delivery, and that one is low and breaking for third. And did he get there in time? Yes, he did. Is Drury. He almost went sliding right off the bag, and he had to kind of keep that left foot on it as long as he could, and he just did.
It's one of those plays that in the regular season you would see immediately somebody on the phone dugout checking in with your replay coordinator inside to see if maybe by an inch, a half an inch, that foot came off the bag. As we saw so many times, a lot of these plays were overturned last season.
Here in exhibition play, or no challenges, no replays.
But let me say, nice read by Drury. Outstanding.
So the 2-2 now at the infield in, and that one is cut on and missed. Ball picked up and thrown to first base by Perez to complete the strikeout. That's out number 2. So back-to-back strikeouts for Richards here in the bottom of the second. And Evan Marzilli, who last season played in the minors, rookie ball, AA, AAA, will be the batter.
Garrett Richards, never an easy one to catch. Finding now a more consistent release point here with that breaking ball with the bottom of the order now that he's thrown 28 pitches. And Carlos knows his hands are always full, especially when you have a guy 90 feet away.
Here's the delivery. And checking on that one is the batter Marzilli. They say he went around on the appeal. When the Angels step up in the third, trailing right now 1-0, it'll be G-Man Choi and then the leadoff man Cliff Pennington and Drelton Simmons against Robbie Ray. 0-1 pitch. That one pitch it is swung on and missed. It gets away from Perez and rolls all the way over by the D-backs on deck circle, and that will bring in a run. Boy, we see that happen a lot with Richards pitching, and now it's 2-0 Arizona.
Yes, we do. Reason is everything moves so much. A lot of late movement, and Carlos unable to get this one squared away the way he wanted. There's a lot of times where you can do everything perfect with your body and think you're going to bend down, absorb, and everything in perfection the way you practice it, but spin and that rate, it's hard to predict.
So a couple wild pitches certainly factoring in here, and there's a pitch that's cut on and missed, and that will end the inning. It's an odd inning as Richards ends up striking out the side, but they get 2, and the D-backs have a 2-0 lead as we go to the third on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports.
One of the most civilized
Fans, register your little angel for the 2016 Junior Angels Kids Club for only $18. Members receive 4 ticket vouchers, a Junior Angels lunch bag, and other exclusive gifts. Sign up today at angels.com/juniorangels. G-Man Choi, the South Korean, at the plate for the Angels. First pitch is a ball on him, lefty-lefty matchup, and that's a called strike on the outside corner.
Now, what's strange about this matchup, G-Man Choi is supposed to be a switch hitter right now.
Yeah, so why is he batting left-handed?
That's what I'd like to know.
And here's the pitch. He bounces that one back to the mound. It's fielded by Ray, and he throws him out.
You know, that looks like such an easy play. It's a jam shot. It gets a little different spin, and It's not an easy play for a pitcher, considering, when balls are hit back to the mound, your first reaction is that ball's going to hit pretty hard. Nice job by Ray fielding it, coming out of the shadows and into the sun, and then showing you some soft hands there.
So that brings up the top of the order Cliff Pennington, who struck out his first time up. He looks that one over. It's in there for a called strike. 2-0 D-backs as we get the third underway here at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. On the outskirts of Scottsdale, and the pitch, that's a swing and a miss.
Pennington has not looked good at all against his former teammate.
Next one, it's fouled back behind the plate. Ray, in his first appearance, worked 2 scoreless innings, gave up just 1 hit, didn't walk, and he struck out 3.
And the new Diamondbacks pitching coach is former Angel Mike Butcher, who should be making his way into this game here soon after their earlier game here in the Valley.
Here's the next one that's fouled back. Yeah, they were in Peoria taking on the Padres. And that was a 1 o'clock start local time.
So, Terry, let's get your map and give me that traffic report right now.
Somewhere up to 101, I guess, Jose. Here's the next delivery. That one is low. And the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Manager Chappelle also on his way back. As Phil Nevin is taking charge here right now for the D-backs.
2-strike delivery. That's hit into center, but right at Marzilli. Pennington got good wood on that one, but lines out. 2 are gone. And Simmons, who has one of the 2 Angel hits, will be the next batter.
Nice job there by Pennington, allowing the ball to get a little bit deeper to travel. He was getting fooled on that sinker down and away. A little simple adjustment of just convincing your mind and your body to wait a little bit longer.
Here comes the pitch. Big cut and a miss. Chased a high one to Simmons. Simmons, when he got his single back in the top of the first inning, that was his first hit this spring. Gone 1 for 9. Turn the lights on, although the sun is shining brightly. And the next delivery, this is lifted in the air into center field. Going back on it and making the grab is Marzilli, and the Angels have a quiet top of the third. We're headed to the bottom of the third inning here at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. D-backs up on the Angels 2-0 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports.
It's race day.
Fans, don't forget you can host a business function or celebrate a special occasion in your own private suite at Angel Stadium. Suite rentals offer all-inclusive food and beverage packages. Visit angels.com/suites. And the first pitch, that is a called strike. 0-1 is the count. Owings at the plate, the leadoff man for the D-backs in this one. Grounded out to short his first time up. Richards ready, and the next pitch lifted in the air into right, sinking quickly, and that ball is going to be trapped by the right fielder Quentin Berry. Tried to come in and make a lunging catch on it, but the ball did hit the ground, so it's a leadoff hit for Owings.
Good contact once again by Owings, who was robbed by Simmons up the middle in his first at bat. The good news here is that Berry kept that ball in front of him because Owings couldn't really run. That keeps it to a single.
Owings had 16 stolen bases last year for Arizona, so he's the runner over there. Richards will have to pay attention to him.
16 out of 20, that's pretty good.
Runner not going, and the pitch a little bit low. We'll check out the Ram Out of Town scoreboard for you here on this Tuesday. It's brought to you by the Ram 1500, available with Eco Diesel V6 that gets an estimated 29 miles per gallon highway. Visit ramtrucks.com to learn more, and we'll run down the action in the Florida Grapefruit League in just a moment. Toss over to first, and Owings back. Well, the Orioles lost to the Red Sox 5-1. Braves beat the Mets 5-4. Miami blanked the Yankees 1-0. And the Marlins, who won that game 1-0, had only 2 hits.
Orioles got a little bit stronger, didn't they, in signing the baby bull, Pedro Alvarez.
There's a ball lifted in the air into left center, and that is in the gap. It'll take a bounce, hit off the wall out there in left center. Going into third is Owings, and he will score all the way from first base on an RBI double by Socrates Brito. It's now 3-0 Arizona.
That's pretty much what got the Arizona D-backs excited about calling this kid up last season. Brito came out for 18 games, hit .303, high on base percentage. Is the consistency of squaring the baseball, barreling the ball in here, pretty much like we've seen other D-backs do here today when they make contact against Richards, allowing him to provide all that power.
So Richards has already given up 3 runs so far on 4 hits in 2 official innings. Nobody out. Bottom of the third, 3-0 D-backs.
Notice from them a lot of short swings, short to the baseball.
First delivery here on Gosselin, the second baseman. He takes ball 1. Rest of the Grapefruit League, Phillies doubled up the Pirates 4-2. Toronto over at Twins split squad 9-3. The other Twins split squad lost as well. They were beaten by the Cardinals 5-3. There's a pitch way low and outside. Boy, that one was really sailing wide. Good stuff by Perez. Tigers over Tampa Bay 6-5, and the Nationals beat the Astros 4-2. Richards behind, 2 balls, no strikes. Runner at second. Next pitch in there called strike.
Still fighting that command, fighting that location, maybe fighting not staying over the rubber enough or long enough at this point. But only his 5th inning here of the spring. As he bounces back, Terry, for an offseason where he did not have to rehab those legs as he did a year ago.
Rest a little bit more in the offseason. He's high with that one. And you can kind of sense Richards is fighting himself out there on the mound.
Body language tells you everything.
Just took a deep breath out there on the pitcher's mound at Garrett Richards. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the next delivery. Late with the swing on that one is Gosselin, so it's a full count. So that is pitch number 40. And the Angels do have action in the bullpen. We'll see whether or not Richards will be able to pitch through this 3rd inning. He's on limited pitches right now. Full count. Here's the next pitch. That one is tapped foul right by home plate. So we'll do it again, 3-2. Fans, if your computer is running slow, go to mycleanpc.com and get a free computer diagnosis. In minutes, you can activate MyCleanPC software to clean out the junk that may be slowing down your computer. Visit mycleanpc.com. Richards has a new baseball. Peak at second. His pitch, 3-2 delivery, got him looking on the outside corner.
That's been the best pitch for him all afternoon long. The breaking ball that's just nipping enough of the corner and being called by Mike DeMuro.
That was a tough pitch to handle there, and Goslin out looking. The last 4 outs recorded by Richards have all come on strikeouts. And with one away, here's Peralta. Let's pause for stations to identify themselves right here on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. David Peralta, left-handed batter, steps up for Arizona, takes that one low. Terry Smith, Jose Moden, our producer-engineer Darren Chan. We are with you here on this Tuesday at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick.
What a venue this is. Absolutely gorgeous.
Now in its 6th spring training. The D-backs share this facility with the Rockies. So there's a game here pretty much every day in Cactus League play, whether it's a D-backs home game or Rockies home game.
You know, and beyond the accommodations, which is pretty much like a regular season, is the backdrop, the beauty of the mountains and part of the desert.
Yep, just about everywhere you look from behind home plate. Here's a roller hit the short. This is right at Simmons. His throw is in time. So Peralta retired on the ground for the 2nd time in this one. On the play, Brito moves to 3rd. He's a 2-out base runner, and it brings up the veteran Ricky Weeks.
Something we see from Simmons often is he'll get his feet set, and then, unlike other shortstops, he does get on top of the baseball as much as possible, something he shared with me the first few days of camp as we're rolling out a fundamental about the importance that he has found in being consistent himself with the arm slot. He says, I'll try to get on top of that baseball as much as I can because that's where the carry comes for me.
Weeks was hit by a pitch his first time up, and it was the first pitch that Richards threw to him. He starts him off with a fastball high. 1-0 the count. Ricky Weeks, former first-round pick of Milwaukee, played 11 seasons with the Brewers and then 1 year with Seattle. That was last year. Here's the pitch. He takes that one high. His younger brother Jamiel is trying to win a spot with the San Diego Padres.
You remember when Jamiel first came up with the A's?
Yeah.
He took the league by storm. Could really run. Did a fine job with the bat. And then, as Chili Davis, at that time the hitting instructor for the A's, told us, his swing got way too big.
Here's the pitch. That one is low. Yeah, when Jamiel Weeks broke in, as you mentioned, with the Oakland A's a few years ago, he looked like he was going to be a fixture with Oakland for a long time, but didn't pan out that way, and he's been bouncing around pretty much ever since.
Yeah, so he reminded a lot of people of a D. Gordon. You know, that body type. D. Gordon has blossomed into a superstar.
Sure has. There's a pitch that's taken by Ricky Weeks on a 3-0, and it's in there for a strike.
D. Gordon now reunited with his former manager, Don Mattingly, over in South Florida.
Ricky Weeks, a former All-Star. That was back in 2011 with Milwaukee. He had 3 different seasons where he had 20 or more homers with the Brewers. He fouls that one off on the right side out of play.
One thing the Mariners were hoping to get from Ricky Weeks last season was his steady bat historically against left-handed pitching. It did not pan out that way.
Ricky Weeks, as he's gotten a little older, he looks a little thicker.
Looks like a hitter more than what he used to be, a middle infielder.
Yeah, he's gained a little weight.
There's a play some outfield. Trying to earn a spot, or at least that other teams take notice here in camp.
So it's a full count on him, and on the 3-2, he checks the swing on that one, and it's ball 4. And that would appear to be the final pitch of the day for Garrett Richards, as we see Angels manager Mike Scioscia heading out to the mound. So we will have a pitching change. Richards will be lifted. We have a break in the action. We'll be back with more Angels baseball in just a moment on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. New pitcher for the Angels is Cody Satterwhite, as he is here from minor league camp. Actually seen him pitch once already this spring for the Angels, and the delivery here is in there for a called strike. 0-1 to count.
The best thing Satterwhite can do is right there. Nice, well-located first pitch, gain some confidence, and hopefully get the Angels out of this one.
Pitched a scoreless inning against the Royals on Sunday.
That's why he got the call back quickly.
Next pitch, there's a cut and a miss. So he's thrown a couple here for strikes against Brandon Drury, who's doubled, scored a run, and driven in a run for the D-backs.
Satterwhite has a fastball that will run back in on right-handers, but he's able to have enough velocity where he can pitch upstairs. And it seems like he gains a little velocity as the ball's traveling.
Next one, it's grounded right to second, bobbled a bit by Pennington, but recovers, throws, and gets Drury. The inning is over on a 4-3 ground out, but a run in the inning for Arizona. A couple hits for them and a walk. They have a 3-0 lead as we head to the 4th inning on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
The stage is set.
Angels are down 3-0 as we head to the top of the fourth inning. There's a new pitcher for Arizona. Daniel Hudson will replace Robbie Ray. Ray did a good job. Pitched 3 scoreless innings. Checked the Angels on 2 hits. Ended up walking 1 and had 3 strikeouts. So Hudson will take over. We have a right-hander out there on the mound. And Giovanni Soto will try and get things going for the Angels as we begin inning number 4. Here's the first pitch. That's a little bit outside for ball 1. Want to remind you, Experian. Let's get serious about your credit. Go to Experian.com today. Hudson working from the stretch and the pitch. And that is a little bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Daniel Hudson is a guy that you have to admire. He's come back from 2 Tommy John right elbow surgeries. And last year had a nice season working out of the bullpen for Arizona. Here's a fly ball lifted into left center field. Camping under is the left fielder, and battling the sun a little bit out there is Brito to make the catch to get Soto. That's out number 1.
Terry, as tough as it is to even get the news that you need that surgery, then the testing of the mind becomes the work you put into the rehab, and the people next to you that you have to listen and be patient and understand where your body is, what it needs, and when it needs it, to not get too far ahead. But to come back from 2 of them and to be solid on the mound at the big league level is remarkable. And again, this happened to a few other guys where they've had 2 Tommy John surgeries.
Right, and he was a guy who last year, coming back from a second Tommy John elbow surgery, was throwing in the upper 90s. Has a good changeup as well. Marte at the plate, takes, and that one is in there for a strike.
That's a lot of line for that fastball. 2-seam, 4-seam.
Hudson missed most of the 2012 season, all of the 2013 season, and most of the 2014 season. And then worked in 64 games last year out of the bullpen. There's one that's lifted in the air into left field. Brito going back. This one is over his head. Ball takes a bounce, hits off the wall. Going into second base will be Marte. They'll make a turn there and hold up with a 1-out double. So that's the first extra base hit of the game for the Angels. Hit number 3 overall, and Carlos Perez, the catcher, will be the next batter.
Oh, Jeffrey Marte didn't look very good against a left-hander. Ball on strikes that first at bat. Now sees a right-hander hard-throwing Hudson and drops that barrel for a couple of productive days, consecutive days for Marte, who yesterday hit a 3-run homer against the Reds in the Angels split squad.
Perez has a fielder's choice so far. One thing about Hudson, he's a strike thrower. He'll be around the plate. Former starting pitcher, and then after all the elbow problems, more better suited as a reliever now. And he, like Robbie Ray, is a quick worker. Doesn't waste time out there. Here's the pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. Shadows covering most of the infield except for a little pocket out around second base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And boy, oh boy, was Perez fooled on that swing. That pitch had some good movement low and in.
Boy, he makes you commit. It was a nice and easy mid-90s fastball. Explosive. And then you commit a little too early and he can bend it on you.
Here's one that he bounces in front of the plate. It gets away from the catcher, Gosawish, and easily moving over to third without a throw will be Jeffrey Marte. So wild pitch. Now a fly ball deep enough to the outfield gets that runner in with 1 out.
And all you're looking for is an offense that needs to improve is situations like this. Get one on the board somehow. This calls for contact.
D-backs are playing back for the most part in the infield, especially the middle infielders. The next pitch, that one is ripped but foul down the left side. That ball was punished there by Carlos Perez, but just a long strike.
Carlos was a much better hitter last season against right-handers. Hit under 200 against left-handers.
Here's the 2-strike delivery. Low. 2-2.
Well, Carlos attributes that to the fact that early when he got called up to the big leagues, just too much of a flying shoulder in the front against left-handers, and they pretty much ate him alive. And he admitted necessarily it was not with pitches that were tough. He just couldn't reach him because he was too far out. Pulling out.
Next one by Hudson. This is bounced to third. This is going to get the runner in. The only chance for an out first base. It's in time to get Perez, but certainly a productive out right there. RBI ground out. Angels get on the scoreboard. It's now 3-1 Diamondbacks.
Well, Carlos was able to cut down on that swing and see the ball a little bit better, and then the 2-strike approach, put it in play. A very active Jeffrey Marte, Terry. I think Jeffrey wanted to continue running. He rounded second as if he's going to go to third in that double, and then he rounded third like he was going to score from second on the wild pitch.
Yeah.
He's feeling good.
Here's Gentry at the plate, and the Angels left fielder takes low and in. Ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the next pitch. That's a liner into right field. Diving, unable to make the catches. Peralta, the ball rolls away from him toward the line down the right side, and hustling up to second base will be Gentry. Angels' second double in the inning. Peralta gave it a good try out there, but couldn't make the grab, and now we'll see if Hinshaw can bring in Gentry with 2 outs.
Gentry 2 for 2. Nice piece of hitting out of the book of Carlos Perez on the previous swing there. Standing effort by Peralta. He can cover all that ground in right field. Then we see the ball drop, pop out, make it easy on the runner to decide to keep going. Also, we see the sunglasses popping out and all around that grass.
Hinshaw hit the ball hard his first time up, but he lined it to the third baseman, and it turned out to be a double play. And there's a cut and a miss for strike one. Want to remind Angel fans the 20-game flex plan offers a variety of game options to choose from, which includes opening night, premium matchups, and popular promotional giveaway nights. Visit angels.com/ticket plans. 3-1 Arizona here in the fourth, and the next pitch, that's low and outside. Ball and a strike to count. Hudson, a big right-hander, looks at second. Here's the next pitch. That's on the outside corner. Called strike.
Good 2-strike here.
Hinshaw 1 for 5 in his action so far with the Angels this spring. The next delivery bounces in. Another ball that Gosewich is able to stop.
Nice job, Tuffy. He's been busy getting his work in. All that work to start for pitchers and catchers back in mid-February. All the time under the sun. Many balls that need to be blocked. Putting them on play here during the game.
And staying alive, fouling that one back is Hinshaw. So he's been battling here against Hudson. 2 strikes on him. It's still 2-2.
Hudson made 33 starts for the Diamondbacks back in 2011. 222 innings back then.
And again, the 2-strike pitch, and that one hits him. It came up and got him just above the elbow area, the left arm, and hit batter. So Hinshaw will take first base. And they'll have a little visit out at the mound to talk things over here with Hudson.
Yeah, he's got that movement, and that one certainly got away from him as the elbow dropped, so it did the arm slot. Looks like the acting pitching coach is Mike Fetters. And it is former Angel Mike Fetters out of the University of Pepperdine. Fine pitcher himself.
So 2 are on. Angels' 4th inning continues. We'll see what Quentin Berry can do. Looking to drive in his first run this spring. Has a chance to do it. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Cut and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hudson's been off a little bit with his control here in this inning. A hit batter and a wild pitch. This is his 2nd outing this spring. There go both runners. The pitch is a ball. Throw down to third. Late. Double steal.
That's what we're talking about when you see a Craig Gentry always a threat to run. And does it convincingly. A quick tag at third base. Good job by Drury putting that glove down. And in fact, the release by Goldschmidt was pretty impressive, but enough of a walking lead into third base by Gentry. Nice job.
Angels have had only 3 stolen bases all spring, but get 2 on that play right there. A double steal. And here's the next pitch. Chopped foul over by the Angels' first base dugout.
One thing the Angels don't do very often is steal third base. Not seen a whole lot of that in the regular season the last few years.
A hit by Berry would likely tie this ball game up. It's 3-1 Arizona. And the next delivery low again. And Hudson has been missing low.
And because of that, he's added now a total of 24 pitches.
G-Man Choi waiting on deck. Next pitch.
All right.
Tapped foul over on the first base side. So Berry hanging in there with 2 strikes. 25 pitch inning for Hudson. And they do have action in their bullpen. Hudson has a new baseball. He's about ready to deliver. Here it comes. And that one is tipped foul. Berry battling here against this right-handed reliever. Quentin Berry last season appeared in 8 games with the Chicago Cubs. Most of his season in AAA. He had 35 stolen bases in the minors a year ago.
Let's go look up the middle the other way a little bit more.
And the next delivery takes that one on the inside corner. Struck him out looking. And that's how the inning will end. Angels have to settle for just 1 here in the 4th. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Arizona leading the Angels 3-1 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Bottom of the fourth, Angels will go with pitcher number 3. Mike Morin is going to take over. So Kyle Jensen, the first batter to face on the bottom third of the batting order for Arizona. And the first pitch, that one is taken for a ball. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Mike Morin, who had a disappointing season for the Angels a year ago, looking to bounce back here in 2016. And the next delivery ball, too. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, this time a year ago, it seemed like he was a lock to have that 7th inning. Just did not pan out that way.
He's looked good so far this spring. This is his 3rd appearance, and he's worked a couple of scoreless innings. He also has a win out of the bullpen.
He's got a plus changeup. Velocity has picked up. Now trying to work on a short slider just to give the hitters a different look.
There's a cut and a miss, and the count on Jensen now.
And there it was. He needs a pitch like that. Something going sideways, east-west.
2-2 is the count. Morin's next pitch, and he gets him to wave and missed that one. Struck him out, fooled him with the changeup.
It was an outstanding pitch all the way around. Arm speed, arm slot, velocity, contrast, it's all there for Morin. Love the finish as he continues to work on that slider, giving him more weapons.
So the batter now is Gosha Wish, the catcher, and that one is lifted foul on the right side out of play.
One thing Morin has shown me with his hands is he can make that changeup go north-south, or he goes, sometimes I have a tighter grip on one side of the ball, and it looks like just a very slow slider. And he says 1 for righties, 1 for lefties. Different looks, something he learned by knowing that at the big league level, so many things have to fall out of pattern.
He has one of the best sliders in the game. He has 2 strikes here, and that one is fouled back by Gosha Wish, and the count stays at no balls and 2 strikes. Garrett Richards, the Angels starter, his day, 2 2/3 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 3 runs earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, hit a batter, 2 wild pitches. One of the D-back runs scoring on a wild pitch. Here's a bouncing ball hit to Simmons, the shortstop, stays back on it, and has time to get the catcher who doesn't run very well. That's his 2nd out. 6-3 on the ground out.
Once again, Anderson Simmons straight over the top. Get those feet set. A good soccer player, he says, in his young days in Curacao.
Fans, here's a deal for you. $19.95 gets you Proactive, plus a rotating deep cleansing brush that's valued at $45. You're guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you'll get your money back. Call 1-800-644-5944. That's 1-800-644-5944. Here's a bunt right in front of the plate, handled cleanly by Carlos Perez. He will throw out Marzilli, and that was just a 10-pitch inning for Morin here in the bottom of the 4th. We've completed 4 at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. 3-1 Arizona on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports.
What would we be
Diamondbacks have Tyler Clippert now getting ready to pitch, so he replaces Daniel Hudson. Hudson worked last inning in the top of the fourth, gave up a pair of doubles and a run. And he also hit a batter and threw a wild pitch, did Daniel Hudson. So Tyler Clippert, who is now with the Diamondbacks, one of their bigger off-season acquisitions, gets ready to work. And here's his first pitch. That's a little bit high and away. This is Ji-Man Choi who's facing him. Clippert is appearing in his second outing this spring, and he gave up a run and a hit. A home run, in fact, in his first Cactus League appearance. Here's the delivery. Choi takes that one inside for a ball.
Clippert waited a long time for somebody to show the type of interest he was expecting as a free agent. Ended up the season with the New York Mets, National League champions. But that market did not develop until a little bit later for him.
Here's the next delivery, and that one is in there. He signed a 2-year deal with the D-backs.
What he did see was a lot of guys getting paid to throw the 7th or 8th inning. He's going, well, about my turn. Look at my numbers and my appearances the last few years.
He's ready. Here's the next one on Choi. That's low and inside. Clippert, fastball, top out around 94. Good curve, excellent changeup. 69 games a year ago with 19 saves between Oakland and the Mets. And the next pitch, and that one is outside on the 3-1. That's a 5-pitch walk. Choi is aboard. The Angels have a base runner to start off this 5th inning, trailing 3-1. Cliff Pennington will be the next batter. Clippert is a guy who has pitched at least 69 games every season since 2010.
Give him the ball. It doesn't matter which league, even though I know his best role is not that of a closer.
Very durable reliever. Been a closer, been a setup man. Here's his pitch, and that one on Pennington, the switch hitter. He takes it outside. The Angels have a run, 4 hits. Diamondbacks 3 runs on 4 hits.
So is Mike Butcher back? Now that we see Chip Hale is back, out of traffic there, and Dave Magadan, new hitting instructor. Matt Williams is back from their other games. We'll see Butch around.
Here's the next pitch, and that's hit high in the air, but foul down the right side. Wave foul. Pennington. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on the Angels' second baseman in this ball game.
There's Mike Butcher. Now, not the Angel red, but the Sedona red here for the D-backs.
Kind of that desert red. One ball, 1 strike as Clippert delivers. Runner goes. The pitch, it is popped up foul. Third base side. Coming over is the third baseman, and right there is dugout. Drury will make the catch. Pennington had a hustle back to first base. Or Choi, I should say, as Pennington is retired.
As we talk uniforms, Sedona red for the D-backs. They have 8 different uniforms that they will wear this season. And around here, they're calling it the evolution, not just of the franchise, but of the uniforms, including some retro looks. And one of the most unique things is the bottom part of their pants. You think from far away that everybody has dirt right beneath the calves.
There's a toss over there to first base.
In fact, there's something pretty unique about those pants is the fact that they have a stripe running on the side, but the stripe, Terry, doesn't make it all the way up.
Right. It doesn't go all the way up to the waist.
I believe they're called the Bloody Sox pants around here.
Here's a pitch a little bit high on Simmons. 1 ball, no strikes to count.
How about that, Terry? A lot of things happening here with Dave Stewart, Derek Hall, Mr. Kendrick, Tony La Russa,
yeah,
Chip Hale.
There's one that's outside. It misses again. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, they're in their 19th season now, this franchise. Into the postseason 5 times in their franchise history, and they've never drawn under 2 million fans in a season.
They do a fine job all the way around getting that team out there in the community. Fan support has been tremendous, as you just mentioned, with those numbers.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement here in the Valley for the D-backs. They think they have a chance to really challenge this year in the National League West. They were 13 games out of first place last year, finished in 3rd place.
And it's too bad that we're not seeing play today. One of the best players in the game, his name is Paul Goldschmidt. What a tremendous baseball player he is, first baseman for the Diamondbacks.
Right. Neither Trout nor Goldschmidt playing here in this one. Here's the pitch, and it's a lazy pop on the third base side. A few feet back on the outfield grass. Drury makes the catch.
There's many more people, of course, that know who Trout is for what Trout has done, but unfortunately, not a lot of people know who Paul Goldschmidt is, and he has been really good for many years, and every single tool out there he has put to use and he has produced in his big league career.
And for a big guy, he can steal some bases too. He's really a 5-tool player.
Stole 21 bases last year.
Yep. So the Angels have 2 outs here, and the batter is Soto, who's 0 for 1 with a walk.
Just to tell how good Goldschmidt is. He played 159 games, 33 home runs, 110 RBIs, 118 walks, 21 stolen bases, hit .321. His on-base percentage was .435. The Goldie.
Here's the pitch, and that one pitch inside. He was the only player last season who hit 300 with 30 home runs or more and 100 RBIs or more. The only player in baseball.
So remarkable.
Right-hander against right-hander, the pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Marte would be up next. He has a double, and he scored the only Angel run so far in this one. Here's the next pitch. That's lifted in the air, and it's hit well into right center field. Some people are chasing. Peralta goes after it, and he runs it down out on the warning track. He also had Marzilli coming over the center fielder. That was a fine running catch there by David Peralta. He might have saved a run on that one, and that will end the inning. So the Angels go down here in the 5th. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning, 3-1 in favor of the Arizona Diamondbacks on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Driven by... of the 5th inning here at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. Terry Smith, Jose Mota, and our producer-engineer Darren Chan with you on the Angels Baseball Radio Network, Fox Sports, and also on Fox Sports Arizona for this ball game. 3-1 D-backs leading the score update. It's brought to you by Experian. Get serious about your credit by visiting Experian.com. Cam Bedrosian will be pitcher number 4 of the day for the Angels. He replaces Mike Morin, who had a clean bottom of the 4th with a strikeout.
Well, that's what Bedrosian needs today. He needs a clean inning. 3rd appearance for him, and they have not been easy in the previous 2. Interesting article recently about Bedrosian and his father, former Cy Young Award winner Steve Bedrosian, who pretty much said, you know, son, go out there, play catch, and have some fun out there on the mound. Stuff is there. Trust it.
Here's the pitch, and that one is in there for a strike. Yeah, Bedrosian so far this spring in 2 appearances, an 0-1 record, 2 innings, 4 hits allowed, including a homer, 4 runs allowed. And his ERA is 18.00. Chris Owings, the batter here, 1-1 on him. He cuts at that one and misses it. We've seen some glimpses of Bedrosian that have been solid, but consistency has not been there for him at the major league level.
His best showing was at the end of last season when Mike Scioscia gave him a lot of innings. A lot of them out of necessity when he was shorting out of that bullpen, but he really stepped up. That tighter slider was the difference for him. And instead of that big breaking ball, which is sharp but just stays over the zone way too much.
Bedrosian working with the count even. It's 2-2, and the next delivery, he got him looking, struck him out. That was right down the heart of the plate. Owings is retired. Angels pitching with 6 strikeouts already in this game, and with 1 away in the bottom of the 5th. Here's Brito.
That might have been a little tough to pick up. Now the pitcher coming out of the shadow or right into the sun, and that was a nice running fastball. It was like 2-seam action running back over the plate. How about what you see around home plate and all the moving parts, Terry? Huh?
Hell yeah.
All the ghosts around there. What's going on?
That's the party deck that's up above us, and people walking back and forth, and the sun kind of shooting from in from behind, and that's got to be distracting for the hitter.
It's not the trees moving.
1 ball, no strikes.
I don't think I've ever seen a ballpark where the hitter's shadow is in front of him. Don't get caught looking at your shadow, son. Might freezing that fastball. Look at that.
Besides all those other shadows that are kind of surrounding you in front of you.
You catch yourself watching and see how good you look in your shadow.
And the pitch grounded on the right side. That's going to be another hit for Brito. So the Angels haven't been able to get him out in this one. He's 3 for 3. 1 out hit. And now Goslin, the second baseman, will be stepping up to the plate.
And for Brito, what a consistent set of at-bats for him. Through the infield twice, hard hit ground balls, and then the gapper to left center field. No wonder he's got some people excited around here about his future out of the Dominican Republic.
So looks like Brito will have the rest of the game off. They're going to pinch run for him over at first base.
91, Victor Reyes. First. 91, Victor Reyes.
Victor Reyes is the pinch runner. Player from minor league camp for the D-backs. Reyes is an outfielder, so we'll see if he stays in the ball game for the left fielder Brito as well. Goslin is 0 for 2. Bedrosian ready. Here's the pitch. A little bit low. That one misses. When the Angels are in action tomorrow, it's going to be against the Dodgers. We'll be back in Tempe. And it'll be Jared Weaver against Scott Kazmir. And then on Thursday, it'll be the Angels and the Diamondbacks once again.
Scheduled to pitch for the Angels to make his spring training debut is Andrew Heaney.
And he will be opposed by Shelby Miller, one of the prime acquisitions by the D-backs this offseason.
He himself a very fine pitcher in a revamped pitching staff for the D-backs. We should also have a pretty solid bullpen.
Here's the pitch, and that one is a little bit low. You look at the D-backs projected rotation, and Zach Greinke, of course, will be their number 1 former Angel. Patrick Corbin, former Angel farmhand, in their rotation in all likelihood as well.
Ruby De La Rosa.
There goes the runner in the pitch. That one pops off the mitt of Perez, so he's not going to get a throw on that one. And we'll see how they end up scoring that one. So the runner at second. That was also on ball 4, so Gosselin ends up taking first base on it. So he draws a walk, as it turns out.
You could tell
that wild pitch.
You could tell there's a little extra jump and even latent movement on that four-seamer that's just running and tailing away, as Carlos had a tough time handling that pitch from Bedrosian.
So Domingo Leyba is the pinch runner for Arizona over there at first base. And that means Gosselin, who just drew that walk, his day is done. Well, Bedrosian got the first batter out. Owings on a called third strike, and now is giving up a hit and a walk. And there's a pitch that's low in this inning, kind of following what we've seen from him so far this spring.
Yeah, he's running into a very dangerous hitter here.
Peralta at the plate, couple ground outs, left-handed batter. 2 balls, no strikes to count. And the next pitch, he swings at that one, fouls it off on the left side, got a late swing. Fans become a Angels season seat holder to enjoy exclusive benefits and the same seats all season long at the greatest value. Visit Angels.com for more info. Bedrosian already at 15 pitches here in this bottom of the 5th. 1 out, 2 on. Here's the next one on Peralta. And that one is in there. A 1-2 pitch gets him looking. Struck him out. Second strikeout for Bedrosian. Both have come on called third strikes in the inning.
Well, good to see Cam bounce back and go to number 1. Giving it a different look. Carlos insisting on that fastball and letting it run naturally. There are some things, Taylor, that happen during a game sometimes as a young pitcher is experimenting and maybe using a different grip. As they develop, use a catcher said, if it's working, let's try another way to utilize it, exploit it. And that time it worked with that almost like a 2-seamer looking fastball.
Here's Ricky Weeks swinging and missing a pitch and a snap throw to second. Getting back to the bag is Reyes, the pinch runner. No balls, 1 strike on Ricky Weeks. 3-1 in favor of Arizona here in the bottom of the 5th. Next pitch on the outside corner. The Angels bat in the 6th inning. Marte, Perez, and Gentry are the batters scheduled.
I expect Ricky Weeks to come out here aggressively. And based on the power he's seen from Bedrosian fastball, sharp breaking ball, so just remind himself to be shorter to that baseball.
Weeks has had a pretty good spring so far for the D-backs. He's 5 for 11, and he's been on base twice in this one, hit by a pitch and a walk. He fouls that one back behind the plate.
That's the way he was a little upset when he got hit by that pitch in that first at bat. He's like, man, I got something good going. I want to swing it.
The only clean inning so far in this game for Angels pitching was by Mike Moore in last inning. Richards struggled a bit. Bedrosian trying to pitch out of some trouble here. 2 outs, 2 on. Has a couple strikes on Weeks. Next pitch, and that one is chased and missed. Got him, struck him out, and the inning is over. So as it turns out, Bedrosian ends up striking out the side. That's 8 strikeouts already for Angels pitching through 5. We are headed to the 6th. The 3-1 D-backs lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Well, we have wholesale changes for the D-backs. That's about par for the course this time in this ball game.
Get your pencils ready and make sure they don't break, Terry.
And
that's all
get
I
your
have to say.
eraser out, too. You got to do a lot of erasing here. Josh Colmenter is the new pitcher. And they have changed pretty much all the spots around the infield and outfield. So we'll be picking those up for you in just a moment. Colmenter's first pitch, and that one misses outside on Marte. He's had a double, scored the only Angel run so far, and he has also struck out. Tyler Clippard, who pitched last inning, retired 3 of 4, walking 1. There's a cut and a miss.
Oh, Josh Colmenter, we talk about so many of the personalities that are ingrained here in this area and the communities, Terry. Here's one of them. He has done everything this organization has asked of him. Absolutely beloved here in the area.
He was in their starting rotation for a while. Made 12 starts for them last year. 44 appearances overall. Had a 4-6 record and a 3.79 earned run average. Here's the next pitch. That's hit sharply, and it's a fair ball over the third base bag. That ball's going to ricochet back into fair territory after it went foul, and then stumbling into second base is Marte with his second double of the game. I don't know what happened there, but he kind of rolled into second base.
Well, it's good to know that Marte is still in one piece. And I told you earlier, he's a little leg happy today.
Yeah.
Boy, good to see the energy. But very dangerous Slided second base by Jeffrey Marte.
So the Angels have a runner in scoring position. Leadoff double against Colementor. Here's the pitch. And that one is outside on Carlos Perez.
One thing for sure about Josh Colementor, everything's coming from the same slot. That window does not vary at all.
Here's the next pitch, and that one is hit well in the left center field. Chasing hard is the left fielder, and that ball is out of here, a home run. Carlos Perez with a 2-run homer, and that ties the ball game up at 3.
And the ball coming out of that slot says, of course, he cannot try to fool you with velocity. And pitching upstairs is an issue for Josh Colementor, especially now in the early going, and he's trying to get his finesse down. And Carlos takes advantage of it. A no-doubter. Nice sound right off the bat.
So the Angels with just their 3rd home run this spring. 2-run shot ties up the game at 3. And at the plate is Gentry.
Good afternoon for Carlos. 3 RBIs.
Rafael Ortega is going to pinch hit here for Craig Gentry. So his day is done, and there's the pitch. It's outside.
Gentry himself has had a nice start to his spring. He was 2 for 2 and stole 3rd base today.
Yep, 5 for 12 overall. Ortega digging in. He's opened up some eyes this spring, and he bounces that one by the mound and through into center field. So the Angels have had a single, double, and 2-run homer here against Colementor. Have the go-ahead run on at first base, nobody out.
We had a chance to break down some of Ortega's game and what he's shown here so far in spring training with the bat and his bat control, swinging and hitting the balls through the infield, his bunting abilities, and of course his cannon arm. With that good base running speed has been welcomed here in camp.
Nick Buss is going to pinch hit, and he is batting for Henshaw, who went 0 for 1. Angels roughing up Colementor as a toss over to first base. Ortega's back. Ortega will look to run. He could be on the move. Colementor normally slows things down with runners on base. Here comes the pitch, and Buss takes that one outside for a ball. The new catcher for the Diamondbacks is Mark Thomas. They have a new first baseman in the game, Joaquin Arias. Here's the next pitch, and that's bounced to Arias, who looked to second and had the ball skip off his glove. That cost him a chance to get the lead runner, so he picks the ball up and easily beats Buss to the bag at first base. So it'll be a ground out to the first baseman. Base runner moves up to second with 1 out. Quentin Berry will be the next batter.
Always a plus to get guys in motion on what could have been a double play ball. Now you have been at second base with a chance to score him with some good speed at the plate and at second base.
Here's the pitch, and Berry drops down a bunt. It's a fair ball in front of the plate, fielded by the catcher Mack. Mark Thomas, and his throw to first base is in time. On the play, moving up to third base on that one is Ortega. So sacrifice, I guess they'll score it that way for Berry. And now Choi will be the next batter. And let's pause with 2 outs here in the 6th inning for station identification on the Angels Baseball Radio Network.
Sacrifice 2-3.
Terry Smith, Jose Mota, Darren Chad with you from Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. A 3-3 ball game here in the top of the 6th. Angels using a 2-run homer from Carlos Perez, his first home run of the spring, to tie it up. Pitch is in there on Choi. He's 0 for 1 with a walk, and that one is low. Domingo Leyba is the second baseman. They have a new shortstop as well. There's a pitch that's a little bit low for a ball. Vargas is now playing short. And it looks like Drury is still playing third base, so he has not left the game yet. Here's the pitch, and that one to Troy. It's cut on and missed.
Terrius Ildemaro Vargas. Come on, say it. Ildemaro. You can do it.
Ildemaro Vargas.
Very nice.
The new left fielder is Victor Reyes. He came in as a pinch runner, stays in the game and left. Here's the next pitch, and that one is hit well into left center field. Out in the gap in left center. That's out by the wall, and that one is gone. A home run the opposite way for Ji-Man Choi. The South Korean connects for the first time this spring. Another two-run homer in the inning. And the Angels have their first lead of the day. It's now 5-3.
Oh, there's no doubt the ball's going to be jumping off of that bat. Ji-Man Choi proves for the Angels and has been seen as a guy that can control the zone, but of course is always welcome when you see the ball jump off the bat, especially going the other way on the sort of approach he's had pretty much all spring.
So the Angels, who had scored only one run in the first 5 innings, have had a pair of two-run homers, a 4-run inning, and now lead at 5-3.
And of course, all attributed to just a lot of missing spots and low velocity from Coleman. As hitters, of course, you welcome something like this here in spring training to get you going, get your confidence back.
With Pennington at the plate, first pitch was a ball on him. It's 1 ball, no strikes. That one's outside. 2-0 the count. A single, a double, and a pair of two-run homers. Big inning for the Angels. Holmenter is appearing in his second game this spring and having a tough inning. Here's a bouncer hit right to Arias, the first baseman, and he will make another unassisted play to end the inning. But the Angels come up with a 4 spot here in the 6th. Will take a 5-3 lead to the bottom of the 6th inning at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Driven. Angels make a bunch of changes as we get set to go to the bottom of the 6th. It's a 5-3 Angels lead. The score update, it's brought to you by Experian. Get serious about your credit by visiting Experian.com. New second baseman for the Angels is Alex Yarborough. Cliff Pennington leaves the game. There's a new third baseman, Caleb Cowart, as he replaces Jeffrey Marte. New shortstop, Gregorio Petit, as he takes over for Andrelton Simmons. New left fielder is Nick Buss. Rafael Ortega stays in the game. He's in center. And the Angels have a new pitcher. Corey Rasmus is on the mound. Here's his pitch. And that one misses. Brandon Drury is the batter. He is the only Diamondback starter who's still in the ballgame. And the next pitch, one hopper out of the reach of Yarborough, the second baseman, and that is the second hit of the game for Brandon Drury. And it looks like he might be leaving now for a pinch runner. Looks like Gabriel Noriega is going to pinch run over there at first base. So a base hit to start the inning off. Here's the pitch. That one a little bit high. This is Joaquin Arias batting for the first time, hitting out of Kyle Jensen's spot.
Veteran infielder. Came up with a highly touted prospect years ago with the Texas Rangers, Joaquin Arias, and then arm trouble put him on the shelf, and his career never developed into what many thought was going to be a premier type shortstop at the major league level. He did make himself dug himself a nice role as a utility man, especially a nice job he's done for the San Francisco Giants in years past.
He played in 40 games for the Giants last year, hit only .207. So Rasmus is set. Works with a 1-1 count on Arias, and that pitch is in there for a called strike.
Arias, good bat control. Will put the ball in play. Will go the other way. Understands his role well and being adaptable to different positions.
Corey steps off the rubber, time called. The Angels were down at one point in this game 3-0, but have scored the last 5 runs in this game, up 5-3, bottom of the 6th inning. Sun starting to set here in the valley, and the pitch, that's a little bit low and away. Breaking ball.
Fastball velocity for Rasmus averaged last season just below 92 miles an hour. He's got a good arm. Tight spinning breaking ball. Max effort. Not a big guy, but he can really get behind the ball and also show you a very good changeup.
Runner goes. Pitch is missed there by the batter, and down on strikes will be Arias. And now I believe they're going to call interference on Arias as well, because Noriega, the pinch runner, is leaving the field. He was breaking on that pitch, so that's going to be an unusual double play.
It is, and a good job by Carlos behind the plate. Carlos Perez selling it. It's almost like a double clutch. He did, but as he had a little bit of trouble getting rid of that baseball, of course he ran into Joaquin Arias after that swing.
So 2 are gone, nobody on base. The batter interfered with Carlos Perez trying to throw to second to try and get the runner. He was breaking on the swing and miss strikeout.
That's a play that's argued and brought to life a lot during the regular season. But the umpires do the best job they can in making sure that the catcher didn't dive into the batter. It is many times taught.
Yeah.
Teacher catchers, hey, if he makes any attempt to get in your way, you can't stay in that lane. You got to go out there and almost start leaning towards him, and a lot of times it will be called.
The batter here is the catcher, Mark Thomas. This is his first time up. And Rasmus just missed on that 1-0 pitch, so it's 2 balls and no strikes.
I recall Tony Pena, former All-Star catcher, was a master at selling that.
Here's the next delivery. That one bounces in, and that is going to be ball 4. So 2-out walk.
There's a settle down visit by Carlos Perez to the mound for Corey Rasmus. Might see a little bit of overthrowing at times. He wants to make sure, as they have known each other now for a full season, that they get on the same page. And there's many times when the best instruction is not going to come from your pitching coach, but from the guy with the mask on.
So the new center fielder, Jason Bourgeois, is batting, and this is his first time up. And the first pitch, a strike on him. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Bourgeois has played for a lot of different teams in the big leagues. White Sox, Brewers, Astros, Royals, Rays, the Reds most recently. And there's a pitch that's in there on him for strike 2.
He's been able to get his big league time and service time, Terry.
Gone 2 for 10 this spring. Outfielder. Here's the next pitch, and he cuts it down, and Rasmus gets him, struck him out on a fastball, and the inning is over. Couple strikeouts for Rasmus. That's 10 already for Angels pitching in the first 6 innings, so 6 in the books. As we head to the 7th, the Angels have a 5-3 lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Seventh inning, Angels up 5-3. Fans, if you have a group of 20 or more interested in experiencing Angels baseball, receive group tickets priced as low as $6 per seat. Visit angels.com/groups. First batter up for the Angels is Petit. This is his first time up. Cole Mentor is still out there pitching for the D-backs. He gave up 4 runs last inning, including a pair of homers. First pitch was in there on Gregorio, and the next one, that one misses low.
I have information here provided by our Alex Curry on Garrett Richards, and reports coming out from the scout section. Yes. Garrett Richards hit triple digits today with that fastball.
Wow. There's a cut and a miss.
Triple digits. So where's the book?
Yeah, I had never heard of him or seen him throw more than 98 miles per hour. Wow.
Hit 100 miles an hour today. And he was off kilt, we must say.
Yeah. There's a pitch that's cut on and missed on a 2-strike delivery. Petit is a strikeout victim, and that is the first strikeout for Holmenter. Kyle Kibitza is going to bat for Soto, the designated hitter, so Giovanni goes 0 for 2.
It's an 0 for 2 that saw him walk, and a good at bat in the first inning. He got robbed. A deep shot to right center field by Peralta to close out the 5th inning. Giovanni Soto has looked very solid so far in his approach at the plate.
First one on Kibitza, he was taking for a ball. It's 1-0. Kyle Kibitza 1 for 6 so far this spring. Left-handed batter. Well, with that sun setting, it's starting to cool off a little bit here in the valley.
And looking like it's going to be tougher to pick up the baseball here as players get used to all the daylight and batting practice, simulated games, hitting off the pitchers, and now for the first time for the Angels hitters, at least under the lights.
1 ball, 1 strike is the count. Here's the next one, and that is a little low and inside. We got started, it was 73 degrees, and it seems to have cooled off a little bit. The attendance for this ball game, 8,457, 84-57. There's a bouncer hit right to the first baseman, and Arias will go to the bag. That's an easy out. So things going a little bit better for Holmenter here in his 2nd inning. He's retired the first 2.
A guy like Holmenter is going to have an idea on what he needs to bring a second time around to, more than anything, just disrupt the timing of the hitters. Terry, I understand that he has a very unique nickname in that clubhouse.
Josh Holmenter, yeah, they kind of refer to him as the professor. And the pitch, that one is inside. He's a very well-versed guy, and kind of conducts. It's almost like he's a teacher. He has different things he tells his fellow pitchers and even position players. Kind of puts on a little session from time to time in the clubhouse for the Diamondbacks. He might talk about physics or about history or you name it.
And for what you were telling me, it even includes a whiteboard.
Right.
Where you can show some formulas and
the erase board. Yeah. He'll just like he's teaching class.
Yeah, that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Break the monotony of a long season.
There's a pitch in there for a called strike. Coward is the batter, the New Angels 3rd baseman, Caleb Coward. This is his first at bat in this one. And so far this spring, Coward's gone 1 for 6. Next pitch, he was jammed, fouls it back to the screen.
We talk about teaching in school and lessons and all that. The D-backs are pioneers even in Latin America in their academy. And what they have brought up to the education aspect of the Dominican young players, even helping guys, Terry, that get released, get their degrees and continue education back in the Dominican, where that's unheard of.
Good for them. There's a pitch that's taken there by Coward. It's a called 3rd strike, and the Angels go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 7th. So we go to the bottom of the 7th at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. We're in the Scottsdale area. The Angels have a 5-3 lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Angels have a new battery as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Victor Alcantara has come in to pitch. Juan Gratterall is the new Angel catcher. And we want to remind Angel fans, no freezers, no microwaves, no heat lamps ever at In-N-Out Burger when it comes to burgers, fries, and shakes. Always fresh is the only way. Why not stop in after the game? And also, don't forget, poker fans, play in the Gardens Casino $30,000 guarantee no hold'em tournament. It's coming up this Friday. Visit thegardenscasino.com for more info, and please play responsibly.
The beauty of the desert and the mountains and the surroundings, and a beautiful sunset right now here at Salt River Fields.
The first pitch by Victor Alcantara, and the batter gets out of the way on that one. The pitcher was way low and inside. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
All right, Victor. Slow it down. He has looked rushed every time he's been on the mound so far. The youngster trying to impress too much.
Ildemaro Vargas is the batter. This is his first time up. And you got to wonder what he was thinking after the first pitch from Alcantara there.
Especially under the lights.
Kind of, why me?
Where you still can't see the ball that well.
Here's the 2-0, and that is in there for a called strike. Young Angel pitcher appearing in his second game this spring. In 1 inning, he gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, walked 2. Has a very good arm, but command is an issue for him. Here's the next pitch. That's grounded on the right side. The first baseman, Ji-Man Choi, will solo to the bag, and that's the first out. Numbers on Corey Rasmus, who pitched the bottom of the 6th, an inning of work, gave up a hit, no runs. He walked 1, struck out 2. And the next batter will be Victor Reyes. This is Reyes' first at bat. He came in as a pinch runner. That was back in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. He goes after it, fouls it off on the left side, backing out of play. Angels and Dodgers tomorrow. That should be fun, Jose, in Tempe. Jared Weaver against Scott Kazmir.
Definitely. Add to that rivalry in spring training.
There's one fouled off on the left side. You're going to see your dad tomorrow?
Hopefully, Pops will make the trip. Spend some time with him. He loves to come over and give Mike Scioscia a hard time, too, once in a while.
Sure he does. They go back a long time.
We better believe it.
There's a cut and a miss, and down on strikes goes Reyes. So 2 up, 2 away here for the Angel right-hander. And the next batter will be Domingo Leyba, the second baseman.
Good job, Victor Alcantara. Hard slider. If he slows down his delivery, of course, the arm will catch up with everything else and be able to place the baseball in better spots. The Angels are very high on this young man.
He's ready, and the pitch. This is hit high in the air into left field. Should be the end of the inning. Making the grab is Nick Buss. And the young right-hander sets him down cleanly here in the bottom of the 7th. 7 complete. The 8th is next. Angels leading 5-3 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports.
Los Angeles.
Angel fans, enjoy Angel spring training in beautiful Tempe, Arizona for as low as $15 per seat. Visit angels.com/spring to purchase your tickets today. A left-hander, Daniel Gibson, will be the new pitcher, so he replaces Colementor, who worked 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 4 runs earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts, and a pair of home runs. Daniel Gibson is a Florida native, born in Tampa, 6'3", 215-pound lefty. And he is a Florida Gator, Jose. He pitched in A-ball and Double-A a year ago.
So that means he's not really a college football fan, right? Not into that?
I think he's a huge college football fan.
Absolutely. He can really bring it to. Good job for them last year for himself.
So here's his first pitch, and that one is drilled in the gap in right center field, and that will split the outfielders and go all the way out to the wall. And easily cruising into second base is the Angels' leadoff man, and that is Ortega.
I believe Gratterall.
Oh, yeah, Gratterall.
Just split that gap right there. Hitting away from the plate, does a good job diving in and reaching a pitch that was tailing away from the lefty and just putting some nice punch into it.
So the catcher Juan Gratterall with the gapper, and now it'll be Ortega. Rafael Ortega's had a hit so far, his only time up.
Show that back control right here.
There's a pitch that is low and outside, ball 1. Angels have had some good production in this game from their catchers. Carlos Perez had 3 RBIs, including a home run. And Gratterall, who replaced him behind the plate with the leadoff double. There's a pitch that is taken, and that one is ball 2. It's outside. Nick Buss is waiting on deck. 8th inning, Angels have a 2-run lead, 5-3. Gibson is pitcher number 5 of the ball game for the D-backs. And the next pitch, chopped on the first base side, handled by Arias, and he will apply the tag on the batter Ortega running to first base. He thought about maybe trying to throw it to third base and takes the safe out at first.
Arias knows how to play the game. Also understands that just by looking at the runner going second or third, he's going to speed up his pace. But he's aware enough as to who's running to first base and the fact that he needs to go out there and pay attention to that guy.
So they'll bring the infield in with 1 out, the runner at third. Buss has had 1 at bat. He grounded out to first, his only time up. There's the pitch, and there's a bunt, squeeze on the first base side, but the runner will not break from third. It was a safety squeeze. Arias fielded the ball, applies the tag on the batter Buss. That ball was just bunted too hard, Jose.
Yeah, and a suicide squeeze, you're going to be going no matter what. And it scores them on a play like that when it's bunted too hard, but not on a safety squeeze when you're reading if the ball to make contact as you get down that line. If you're not sure that ball bunted too hard, you're better off just staying put.
So now 2 outs with the runner at third. Quentin Berry getting ready for his 4th at bat of the ball game.
There'll be times in the game and for different ball clubs where it depends also who's running at third base, or guys will go, you know what, bunt it hard or not, I'm going. He's going to have to make a play there at first base, charge in, make the perfect throw. So for the speedster, well, you're more than willing to take a chance there depending on what the game calls for.
Got to think Nick Buss, who dropped down that squeeze bunt, would like to have a do-over on that one. He was in the D-back system last year, played AAA in their organization, and there's a pitch that is missed. Berry with the count, 1-1.
Even if that bunt comes out that hot off the bat, if it's more to the right of the first baseman, then you get yourself a better chance of scoring the guy.
Here's the next pitch, and dropping down a bit is Gibson on that one. That pitch low and outside. Angels' big inning was in the top of the 6th. Angels got 4 on a pair of 2-run homers. Carlos Perez and G-Man Choi. Choi is home run, breaking the 3-3 tie. It's 5-3 Angels in the 8th. Next delivery, and there's a cut and a miss.
Ground balls comes out of his hand really hot. For Gibson, in 3 minor league seasons, 131 games all in relief, but 139 innings, 152 strikeouts. Live fastball he possesses.
Next pitch, this is bounced right to short. Should be the inning to throw to first, and it just nips the speedy Berry as Vargas got it over there in time, and that will end the inning. Angels had to threat the leadoff double, but leave the runner at third. So we're going to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 5-3 Angels lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Bottom of the 8th at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. Angels young right-hander Victor Alcantara will continue. He had a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 7th. So he'll work here in the bottom of the 8th. And the bottom of the 8th inning, it's being brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. Rotolo Chevrolet, pursuing excellence every day. So visit them at rotolo.com. That's rotolo.com. I want to remind Angel fans you can keep up to date on all things Angels baseball by liking and following the Angels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Find out how to follow your favorite Angels players at angels.com/connect. Gabby Guerrero will be the batter, Jose. And you've known him for quite some time.
So have you.
Yeah.
Does the long legs remind you of anybody?
Reminds you of Vladdy.
Gabby originally with the Seattle Mariners. Part of a trade, and he has got a lot of tools. Nephew of our great Angel Vladimir Guerrero.
There's a pitch that he cuts at and misses. This is his first time up. He was part of that Mark Trumbo deal that the D-backs and Mariners executed during last season. Guerrero so far this spring has had some playing time. He's 3 for 12 with a home run. He's driven in a run.
His speed has really impressed a lot of people around here.
Next pitch, he bounces that one foul over on the left side.
Recently talking to Ruby De La Rosa, D-backs rotation member, he says, well, I don't think there's a lot of guys in camp faster than Gabby Guerrero.
Here's the next pitch, and he waves at that one. Fooled him right there. Struck him out.
Like his uncle, he will go out there and swing the bat.
So far so good in this ball game for Alcantara. He's retired all 4 that he's faced.
Victor's looked more comfortable. You can see that the first overthrown pitch got away from him. Kind of got it back on track.
Jason Morozowski is going to pinch hit, and he is batting for Ricky Weeks, the DH, who was 0 for 1 officially. And the next pitch, that is a cut and a miss. 0-2 the count.
I like the way Alcantara has been able to pretty much keep the same arm slot, arm velocity, to make that short, hard slider look just like a fastball.
And there's a pitch that catches the inside part of the plate, and he takes care of the pinch hitter on 3 pitches. Morozowski, a strikeout victim, and that's 3 strikeouts out of 5 batters that the young Angel right-hander has had. So 2 quick outs here on back-to-back strikeouts in the bottom of the 8th. This is Noriega at the plate. Gabriel Noriega. First pitch, ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. And the next delivery, bounce right back to Alcantara. This should be the inning. He'll throw him out, and another clean inning for him. He retires 6 straight in this ball game. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left. So the 9th is next. The Angels have a 2-run lead. It's 5-3 Halos on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports.
5 times.
Diamondbacks will use their sixth pitcher. Jake Barrett will take over. He is a right-hander, so he replaces the lefty Gibson, who worked a scoreless inning, giving up a hit against the Angels in the eighth. And as the right-hander completes his warm-up tosses, we'll check out the Ram out-of-town scoreboard. It's brought to you by the Ram 1500, available with Eco Diesel V6 that gets an estimated 29 miles per gallon highway. Visit ramtrucks.com to learn more. And we'll run down what has been happening in the Cactus League here on this Tuesday. Here's the first pitch. And that one is taken for ball. The count 1-0. G-Man Choi, who's gone all the way. 2-run homer, a walk and a bouncer back to the mound, is the batter. Choi has driven in 5 runs so far this spring for the Angels, and he cuts and foul tips that one. 1-1 strike. The other Arizona split squad played to an 8-8 tie against the Padres in Peoria today. That game was called after 9 innings. Tie ball game. Here's the next pitch. That's fouled off on the left side, out of play. There was a strange game today in Surprise. Kansas City beat Colorado 3-2. Why was it strange? Well, it was exactly 1 year ago in Tempe that the Angels hosted the Kansas City Royals in an exhibition game, March the 8th, 2015. That game, you might remember, had a long delay because of bees. Here's a fly ball lifted into left field. Reyes is there waiting, and he will put it away. That's the first out.
Well, that was another bee delay for the Angels. It's happened in the regular season, too. Back in the Big A.
So that was the Angels and Royals a year ago to the day at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Today, at the Royals spring training home in Surprise, the same thing happened.
No way.
They had a long delay because of bees there at Surprise Stadium, and they swarmed a container near the Royals dugout, we're told, exactly a year ago.
So the Royals are going well.
Every time we play on March the 8th, it's the return of the bees.
And was that connected to a world championship or not?
I don't know, but
in baseball, you always try to find these connections, Terry, if you're a baseball team. So,
yep. So history kind of repeats
those bees
itself.
were treated appropriately.
Yep. Alex Yarbrough is batting. He's concerned about getting a hit, and no concern about any bees here, but he's worked himself into an 0-2 count, and he will swing and miss that one. Struck him out. So his first at bat ends quickly. 2 are gone here in the Angels' ninth. And Gregorio Petit will be the next batter. The other Cactus League games, Dodgers beat the Cubs. We'll see the Dodgers tomorrow. The final was 7-3 Los Angeles. And Chris Bryant had a home run and a losing cause for the Cubs. White Sox over Milwaukee 10-6. Indians beat Seattle 4-3. And Texas all over Oakland. The final there was 10-3. And here's a little squibber hit back near the mound. The pitcher Barrett off the mound fields. Throws a little bit low, but handled by Arias. And the inning ends on the bouncer back to the Diamondbacks reliever. Angels have a very quick 9th inning. Go down 1-2-3. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th. Angels take a 5-3 lead there on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports. Angels have brought in Lucas Litke, the left-hander. And he will try and get the final 3 outs, try and save this ball game. 7th pitcher of the game for the Angels. Alcantara did a nice job. The young right-hander retired all 6 that he faced, struck out 3 of them. And now Litke delivers, and that pitch is in there for a called strike. 5-3 Angels, bottom of the 9th here at Salt River Fields at Talking Stick. Litke's next pitch, and that one was way low and inside. Litke will throw a fastball top out around 93, slider, curve, and change. He was in 1 game for the Mariners last year, spent most of last season in AAA in their organization. And here's one that's chopped over the mound out there, second base. Nifty stop by Petit. Did he get it there in time? Yes. That was a good play by the Angels shortstop. 1 up and 1 gone here in the bottom of the 9th. Angels pitchers have struck out 13 Arizona batters in this game. And the Angels coming back from a 3-run deficit in this game as well. This would be a good one if the Angels can hold on. Mark Thomas is the batter, their catcher. And the first pitch to him, he was taking that one. Missed for a ball, the count 1-0. Next delivery, that's in there for a called strike. Thomas looking for his first hit this spring for the D-backs. He's gone 0 for 3. He has a walk so far in this one. Infield back, no shift on, and the pitch high and away. It's outside for a ball. Jose has made his way downstairs, and he will visit with Angels manager Mike Scioscia right after the game. Here's the next pitch, and that one is low. You're tuned in back in Southern California, taking the drive home. Great to have you tuned in on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. We're also on Fox Sports and Fox Sports Arizona this evening. Here's the next pitch. And that one misses high, and he walks him on 5 pitches. So Thomas picks up another walk. And that will bring up Bourgeois. And he represents the tying run at the plate. Bourgeois has been up once, strikeout victim. There's a pitch that he takes for ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Angels' big inning was the 4-run top of the 6th. Pair of 2-run homers in that one. Carlos Perez and Ji-Man Choi each hitting their first of the spring. Bourgeois had backed out of the box. Now he's back in there as Litke okays the sign. Here's his pitch. That's high and outside. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. Angels are trying to snap a little 3-game losing streak here in Cactus League play in search of win number 3 this spring. Next delivery, and that's high and outside. So Litke having some command problems here. He's thrown 8 pitches and only 1 of them for a strike. Behind 3-0 here on Thomas.
One at a time, Lucas. Come on.
Litke has kind of the Dallas Keuchel look to him, a left-hander with that beard. And here's his next pitch. That's in there for a called strike. So it's 3-1. Infield a double play depth. Next pitch, and that's high and outside. So he's walked the last two after getting the leadoff man. A pair of 5-pitch walks here. And that puts the potential winning run at the plate. Vargas will be the batter. DeMauro Vargas, and that's going to get Charlie Nagy, the Angels' new pitching coach, who at one time was a pitching coach here for the D-backs. That gets him out to the mound to talk things over with Whitkey. Mike Butcher, the former Angel pitching coach, now the Diamondbacks pitching coach. So kind of a flip-flop of roles for these two respective pitching coaches. I want to remind Angel fans who are in attendance for the Angels opening series against the Cubs, with opening night at the Big A April the 4th, a Monday night, and Tuesday April the 5th, you'll receive a wall calendar when you come to the ballpark, courtesy of U.S. Bank, while supplies last. Every game matters, so purchase your tickets at angels.com. First delivery misses. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the next pitch. That's in there. Strike, and the count 1-1. Vargas has had 1 at bat since coming in, and he grounded out to first. Lefty ready. Next pitch. That's tapped foul back behind the plate, so he's moved in front on him 1-2, and he got Vargas to chase the pitch. It was almost in the dirt. Let's pause for stations to identify themselves on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. Terry Smith, Jose Mota, and our producer-engineer Darren Chan with you for Tuesday baseball action. And the next pitch. Bounced down the third base side. Touching the bag is Cowart for 1. He throws the first. It's a double play, and the ball game is over. That was hit right near the third base bag, so Cowart was almost standing on it when he fielded that ball. Got the easy out on Thomas going from second to third, and then the throw over to first base in plenty of time to get Vargas, and that's how the ball game ends. Good game for the Angels here as they beat the Diamondbacks by the final score of 5-3, and a nice comeback win for the Angels. Pretty good pitching here, as we mentioned. 13 strikeouts recorded in this one by Angels pitchers. So the Halos with the victory now improve the Cactus League record to 3-5, and we'll get ready to await the Dodgers, who will be coming to Tempe Diablo Stadium to face the Angels tomorrow afternoon, with Jared Weaver slated to work in that one against the former Angel Scott Kazmir. The Angels didn't bring many of their regulars here to Salt River Fields for this game, but do come away with the victory as the Angels win it again by the final score of 5-3. Got to think Angels manager Mike Scioscia will be pretty pleased with what he saw in this one. The comeback victory and some pretty solid pitching by the Angels as well. We're going to take you down by the Angels dugout on the first base side. Standing right in the first base coaching box is Jose Mota with manager Mike Scioscia.
Thank you, Terry. Well, Mike, let's talk about Garrett Richards' second time out on the mound. At times it seemed like he was not too pleased with what was happening. How do you feel about it?
Garrett never wants to get hit. No pitcher does. And got his work done. Had a little trouble commanding some counts and didn't get his slider into the game. But as far as where he needed to be, he was fine. His velocity was great. Movement was great. He just will continue to fine-tune things as we move along in the spring.
When we talk about velocity, we understand that he hit triple digits today. Are you surprised by that?
I don't know about triple digits, but he has it in him to at least keep that fastball firm at 97 and keep going. But he felt strong today, no doubt.
Mike, Carlos Perez provides a new dimension for you in the bottom of the order or wherever you decide to hit him. How important is it that he becomes somebody that you can depend on at least to put the ball in play?
I think he will. He showed that last year. What's a good sign with Carlos, you know, he's upset that that ball in the dirt got by him, more than he is happy he hit the home run. So even after he came out of the game, he's like, hey, I'm gonna get the next one. I'm going to block that ball in the dirt. And that's why we really think he's going to be something special behind the plate.
And it could be very special to see base running again. Craig Gentry provides for you that dimension in terms of putting the ball in play, hitting line drives, getting on, and stealing bases. What are you liking?
I think that he's going to set a tone for us, just like Mike the other day, and some guys that can run. We're going to look for opportunities to put some guys in motion, and he got a great jump at second. He got a good double steal tonight.
Mike, have a great evening. Thank you.
All right, Jose, thanks.
Terry, you yourself, too, go get yourself a nice dinner somewhere on the East Valley, I understand.
Sounds good, Jose. I'll take you up on that. We'll pick a winner, so to speak. So the Angels come away with a win here tonight, beating a Diamondbacks split squad by the final of 5-3. Now, for those of you watching on the TV side, Jose, along with Alex Curry, will have a lot more post-game analysis. We'll have some more for you on the radio side as well. Again, the Angels win it 5-3. This is the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports.